Now we will learn about the twisted prime number. That is seventh program. From the seventh program, again I am continuing here. Twisted prime number means number obtained after reversing the number is a prime number. That is, for example, 167 is there. If you reverse that number, it is also a prime number means. So after reversing it also it is a prime number means it is a twisted prime number. Twisted means was something doing twisting it, right? So twisting of number means it is reversing. That is why if after reversing also if it is a prime number means it is twisted prime number. So input, you are going to get the number as input and save it in a variable, and we are going to initialize another variable equal to 0. I have given here reverse because we are going to reverse the number, no? So that I have given the variable as for reverse. First you have to reverse the number. So to reverse the number, what you have to do is first initialize the loop with the number. Then if number is less than or equal to 0 means, sorry, this is I wrongly did it. If the number is greater than or equal to 0, till greater than equal to 0 only you have to check it, and I is equal to I by 10. This is this I by 10 is to get the single digits. Okay, that is the reason we have given here. For example, 167 is there. So 167 divided by 10 is, since we have declared it as an integer, you will be getting only 16, not 16.7 you are not going to get, you are going to get 16. So in the next iteration you will be getting the number 16, and if you mod this with 10 you will be getting the next digit 6, like that. To get the single digit we are doing it like this. I is equal to I by 10. So to obtain the single digit, D is equal to I mod 10. Okay, this is some variable, and I mod 10 is going to give you, so the first value is going to be 167. 167 mod 10 is going to give you D is equal to 7. The first ones place digit you will get, and you are going to reverse it. So what you are going to do is reverse into 10 plus D. Okay, first initially, sorry, this should not be, yeah, it's 0 only. So here you will be getting 0 plus 7. So you will be having reverse is equal to 7. Okay, so next once again it will go there, and now you will be having I value as 16. So 16 mod 10 you will be getting 6 here. So if you are coming to the reverse is already 7. So 7 into 10 is 70. 70 plus 6 is 76. See, the number is getting reversed. So like that you are going to reverse the number like this. Then after reversing, check for divisor. Set a flag inside the loop if to identify if it is having any divisor. That is, flag means you are going to just initialize a variable inside, and if that number is having a divisor means you are going to check if it is if the remainder is equal to 0 means that is divisible by the I. So for that you are going to increment one variable. You are just going to declare one variable and you are going to keep on incrementing it if it is having a factor, and you at last you will be checking whether that new variable is having any, if greater than 1 or greater than 0, then you are having the common divisor, so it is not a prime number. Then input number, check prime, if not display next prime number. The program is, what we are going to do is we are going to check the input number is prime or not. If it is not a prime number means you are going to display the next after that number, which number is going to be the prime number, you have to display it. So we are going to initialize the num as input number, and flag is equal to 0 we are declaring it. This flag is to check, as I said no in the previous thing, this flag is to check whether any number is a divisor for the input number. So in the loop you are going to check if the divisor, that loop for example, you are going to put it in the for loop, means for I is equal to 1, I is less than or equal to this number, this input number, and I plus plus you are going to give, and you are going to, in the next step, you are going to check if num divided by I is equal to 0. That means that I means if 1 is divisible by the number. If yes means you are going to increase your flag. If it is not means you are just it is not going to enter into the loop, and iteration is going to be keep on repeating. So for each iteration it is going to be keep on repeating, and so if you are declared the flag is equal to 0. So if you have any number that is divisible means your flag will be increased. If the flag is not increased means it is not having any divisor. So that number is a prime number. For that only we are giving it like this. Then use while loop or for any loop, set the condition flag and increment the number and check for prime again until you get the next prime number and set flag is equal to 1. This loop will be executed. Okay, so if that number is not a prime number means you are going to check it first. The given number you are going to check if it is a prime number. If you get the flag as 0 itself, if the flag is not increased means it is a prime number, you are just going to print it as a prime number. If it is not a prime number and your flag is being increased means again you are going to check for each number, that is you are going to increment this number, input number, and you are going to check whether that number is prime number or not. If it is a prime number, then you are going to print it as a prime number. So for that, the condition what you are going to do is you are just going to give if flag is not equal to 0. Until the flag is not equal to 0, the loop has to be run. That is, this number has to be incremented. If the flag is equal, if the flag is greater than, if the flag is equal to 0 means that number is a prime number. So till you have to stop that and print that number as the next prime number. Then here we are going to check if a number is said to be a duck number if it has a 0 in it, any place. Okay, not in the ones place, tens place, like that. In any place, if that number is having a 0 means that number is said to be a duck number. So get the input number and initialize it with some variable and check each digit. You know to check each digit. We have so far we saw no. So num mod 10 is like that, the number divided by 10, and we are going to check the mod. If through the mod we will be getting single digit. So like that we have to get the single digit, and we are going to check each digit is equal to 0. If it is equal to 0 means the digit has a 0 from if it has 0 means you can just stop it right there and come out of the loop, and you can say that that number is a duck number. Then get runs as input from the user minus. Okay, if a user enters -1 means the player is out. So every input runs are added and final score is displayed. That is, every input are what? Runs. So the runs are going to be added until the player is going to be out, and you are going to display the total runs of that player. So in the loop you have the condition if I is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so because if it is -1 means the player is out. So if I is greater than or equal to 1 means get the input, check for -1. If it is not -1 means display the message the player is if it is -1 means the player is out. If it is not 1 means you are going to check the condition false and comes out of the loop. That is this for this. And if not -1 means then all the runs should be added and finally it should be displayed. So if it is not 1 means you are going to put it as sum is equal to sum plus this runs. That is, the input what you are getting should be added along with that. Keep on, you have to add it until the value is minus 1. If it is minus 1 means you have to just print the sum. Then this is your tariff calculation is already known. So only that is, if a tariff is given, that is in a box, they would have given you, right? If 2000 is there means this much discount. If 3000 to 4000 means this much discount, like that. Some tariff they have given in your book. Only thing is put everything in the loop with the condition P dot equals yes. Okay. In this program, what they have said is the tariff calculation. You all know that you are going to put it in the if loop, and you are going to check in which it is going, in which condition it is going to fall, and according to that you are going to calculate the discount or whatever they have said. And in the usually you will be keep on going it, but here what they have said is if P is equal to yes means that iteration has to be increased. So you can check, you can ask the user to input yes if he wants to run the program again, otherwise it will come out. Okay, so you should first itself you should display a message to the user to, if you want to continue, click display the message yes, otherwise no. If the user inputs yes means your loop will be continued. Then here we are going to see a special number. This special number means if a number, for example, if a number 59 is given, so 5 plus 9, we are going to add the digits. 5 plus 9 is equal to 14 and 5 into 9 is equal to 45. So addition and product we are doing, and again this addition result and product result together gives the number you got the number as input means is equal to the input number means it is a special number. So first we have to get the single digits, that is a mod 10 and b is equal to num by 10. This process so many times I have told, so you all know it how to get the single digit, right? So you are going to add the single digit and multiply the single digit. This you are going to put in the if loop. If a plus b plus a into b is equal to num means then it is a special number, otherwise it is not a special number. Then even number. Even number means number is divisible by its sum of its digits means it is called a even number. And once again you all know to find the digits. Here 1, 2 and 6. 1 plus 2 plus 6 is equal to 9, and this number is divisible by 9. So it is an even number. So what we are going to do is we have to get the digits, and digit is going to be added like this. B is equal to b plus a, because through this you are going to get the digit. Whenever you do the I mod 10, you will be getting the single digit here, and you are going to add these digits here. And next you are going to check if the number, that is the given input number, is divisible by this sum of this number. If it is equal to 0 means it is an even number, otherwise it is not an even number. Next is your SPI number. SPI number means 1 plus, that is their input number is 1124. Okay, if that input number is 1124 and you are going to first add it, 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4 is 8, and you are going to again multiply and see it. If you multiply also you are getting the same 8 here. If you get the same numbers for addition of digits and multiplication of digits, then it is a SPI number. Okay, same thing as above, we are going to get the input, and only thing you are going to do is here you have added, right, next to it you have to just multiply it. Get another variable c and you have to multiply it, and you are going to see whether b and c are equal. B and c are equal means it is a SPI number, otherwise it is not a SPI number. Then next is your 15th. 15th is product and division by repeated addition and repeated subtraction. We are going to we would have already learned that product is repeated addition and division is repeated subtraction. You would have learnt it in the maths, right? For that we are going to do the multiplication, do that in your program. So input two numbers A and B. Okay, in that you are going to do the product as well as the division. So init A comma A B with your inputs, that is input number what the user is going to give, and P is equal to 0. This is for product variable I have given P, and for division I have given it as 0, and another variable J, and count is equal to 0. Here they have asked to display the count also. That is the reason I have initialized here the count. And in the loop you have to set the condition till the second number. Okay, why we are going to set it as the second number? Sorry, first thing we have to check whether which number is smaller, and up to that we have to set it with the second number for division. For product you can just set it as the second number, and if I is less than B means you are going to add it. P is equal to P plus A and count plus plus. That is for how many iteration it is going to take, we are counting it. That's why count plus plus we have given, and this is product is to addition only, right? So we are going to put it in the iteration, and P is equal to P plus A. This is the condition you are going to set in the loop, because till the second number only. For example, 2 into 3 is there. So second number, if till 3 only you have to add the 2, then only you will get the answer 6. That is why we are setting it like this. Then for division, check whether J is less than B. Okay, that is the first number. Which number is which number is smaller, you have to first check and keep the condition here, and you are going to just keep on minusing it. If it is less than B means, see J, you have the result here. If J is going to be smaller than B means, after that you cannot minus it, you cannot subtract it. So it is not possible to divide after that. So count plus plus, you are going to display the answer. That's all. Then create a switch statement. Here you are going to create a switch statement. That is, they have asked you to display the menu, and from this you are going to calculate the Fibonacci series and the sum of digits. So the first thing is you have to display this, and for this you are using the switch case statements, because menu is given means you have to use the switch case only. So if the user enter value 1, that is for Fibonacci series means you will enter a value 1, and that will be given into your switch. So it will be going to the case 1 Fibonacci series. And to the Fibonacci series we have to add the two consecutive numbers. So sum is equal to T1 plus T2, and T1 is equal to T2. We are going to swapping it. By swapping only we are going to keep on adding the two consecutive numbers, and here initially T1 will be 0 and T2 will be 1. Initially we will first itself initialize it, okay, and then only we will be going to this process. Then if the user enters the option 2 means sum of digits. So sum of digits, it is similar only. You are going to ask the user to enter a number. Once the user enters the number, you are going to get the single digits, that is digits of the number. We know through the modulus we are going to find it, and you are going to add that digits and give it. That is the sum of digits. That's all. Your book bag program is over, and Monday we will be having the test. That marks will be entered for your internals. So be serious and everyone to write the test and send it to me.